Hello and welcome to the demonstration video for getting your new BracketPal site online and ready to go, including setting up your first season and your first league, and we'll also run through a very brief setup of some teams and we'll build a schedule. So the very first step, when you head over to BracketPal.com, is to click the Buy Now button. Now there's a free version so you can try things out that allows you up to 8 teams per year. Go ahead and click Start. Come on, there we go. So we'll just call this My Test League, and we'll use the address mytestleague.bracketpal.com, and we'll set it up for volleyball. All right, next step, we're going to put in our contact information. We'll also set up a username. We'll call username here. We'll say Test League. That works. All right. And then once again we can revise our plan here so we can choose up to different plans. Now one of the things to note with BracketPal is we do not do overage charges. So if you have, say if you were to sign up for the 25 teams per year plan, we're not going to bill you if you get 26 or 30 teams. Like I'm really not too concerned with that. Instead what we'll do is we'll work with you to try to find a price point that actually does work without being too much of a deal. But if you go over a couple of teams, it's not really a big deal. So anyways, let's move on. So because we have the free site chosen, we don't have to pay for anything. So let's click Create Site. There we go. So our site is all set. We can click Go to our site, and this will get us right to our new page. Hey, look at this. We're all set up. So we need to log in. The very first thing is we need to use the username and password that we created before. So we called it Test League, and for the password I believe I did 12345. Hey, okay, we're all logged in. So the very first thing that we're going to need to do after creating this site, now that we're logged in as an administrator, is to create a new season. So let's start the season. We'll choose volleyball, and we'll add a new season. So we'll call this Summer 2014. We're going to say we're going to start it we'll start at May 26th. And we're going to end at the end of August. So we'll just pick a day here. Say August 31st. And we have a couple of options. Do we want to record the scores for each game? Sure, let's record the scores. How many games per match? We'll say 3. And are we going to be tracking matches or games and matches? The reason for this question is simply to differentiate between if matches should count as their own level in the hierarchy, or if we're only keeping track of if each game is basically independent, or if winning best 2 out of 3, for example, is what we care about, then we could choose matches. So we'll just say matches we'll say matches and games here. Now we'll add a couple of courts. So we'll say court 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to play at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. Now ratings, this is like skill level ratings. So we could say like we could just go A, B, and C. That's straightforward enough. And then finally there's this tiebreaker order. And this is where we differentiate how we want to order the results from that. So in this case, because we're doing matches and games, we could do match win %. And let's go head to head between that. So it'll compare matches first, and then it will do head to head if there's a tie in matches, and then beyond that, then it will go to a game win %, and we'll also do a point differential. So at the very end, it'll differentiate the points. So this is our first season, set up Summer 2014. We have our tiebreaker all set up. Let's click Save. All right, we can head back to the home page now. And now we have our season. Now we just need to create a league. So let's go ahead and add a league. So we're going to call this the Monday, we'll call it the Monday A League. Choose Monday. We're going to start Monday, okay. Skill rating is A. We're not going to worry about referees. And then each team will just play one match per day. And we're going to go for, oh, how many weeks was that? That was, if we started, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks. So one of the things to consider here is this is 14 weeks of round robin. So if we're going for 14 weeks, we want to make sure that we account for the number of weeks of playoffs. So in this case, we'll say 12. That'll allow us to do 2 weeks worth of playoffs. And then we'll say, say we had, I don't know. Let's say we had 16 teams. So we'll play them just on courts 1 and 2, and we'll play at all time slots. So this will give us enough teams and time slots. You can basically break it down to the number of teams here. So we have, if we have 4 time slots, that allows us, on one court we can play 8 teams. So we need 2 courts to get to 16. Okay, so let's go ahead and click Save. And there we go. So we have our new league set up. It's right here. If we click on that, now we can add teams. Now there's a couple of different ways of adding teams. The most common way of adding a team is to use the online registration system. I haven't shown you how to do the online registration system yet. That's going to be a video in its own right. But what we'll do here, the other way of adding teams is you can manually add teams with this Add Team button, in which case you just specify, the team name. You could just say the Ninjas, and click Save. And now we have the new team in here. The other option is import teams, where you can import from a CSV file, which is just a comma separated value file that's exported from any spreadsheet program, Google Docs, Microsoft Excel, OpenOffice, or LibreOffice. Any of those will export to this CSV format that we need. And if you need any help with this, be sure to call. Be happy to help with getting your teams imported. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to generate some sample teams. So let's just add 7 teams. Oop, nope, we wanted to add 16. We already have 1 team set up, so we'll add 15 teams. There we go. So we have 15 teams set up here. Oh, I'm sorry, we have 16 teams set up. Now we can generate the schedule. We already have it set up with the time slots and whatnot. So if we click Auto Schedule, the default options should work just fine. Click Perform Auto Schedule. It's going to do a little bit of balancing to try to make sure everything evens out nicely so no teams play too much at the same time. Sometimes that can take a while for it to really even things out. But we can be guaranteed that whatever schedule this ends up generating is going to be as good as possible. Certainly better than if you had done it manually. So this worked out pretty well. This shows our current distribution of how many times each team plays. And you can see that we have a couple of situations where, for the most part, everybody plays every time slot at 3 o'clock. And there's a couple of them where there's a 4 and a 2 here. Not necessarily ideal. If you wanted to try to improve the distribution, you can click Try to Improve Distribution. And it'll spend some time trying to see if it can work its way out of this. Looks like it was not able to improve it. So, that's fine. For the most part, it's an even enough schedule. So, we click on each of these days, and we can expand the schedule. Further, each team itself can click on their own team name, and they'll be able to see their full schedule, and they can print it off and use that. They can print it off and distribute to a teams, or they can set it up as a bookmark on their cell phone. So that's it. So then, as the league then progresses, you obviously want to record the results. So we'll go ahead and we'll click the results button. Now, one thing to note is that if there are any matches that have not yet been recorded, they will show up right here from the home page, and there'll be a little pink box that pops up saying how many matches are unshown. So I'll show an example from a practical example. If we go to, you'll see they got these. So this is an example of this popping up here. There's one unrecorded match from February 21st and 6 unrecorded match from February 28th on this site. So just as an example. But because we don't have any unrecorded matches yet, we're just going to have to record them manually. So if we click the results button, this takes us to the same form that other page would have taken us to. And here we enter in the scores. So the scores then are sorted by the one team on the left and the one team on the right, and that's the way you enter it here. So we would say 15 to, say 15 to 21, 21 to 19, 21 to 17. And let's say we had one team just not show up. So we could just give them 21-point wins and check a box as a forfeit. We also have other examples of, let's say we had neither team show up. How about that? We can mark it as displayed, and then we can mark both teams as a forfeit. So that'll help, you can keep track of that stuff. So, and you'll go through this for each day, just entering the scores, entering the results. And you click save, and then the standings will automatically get updated. Now in our case, we didn't really update a lot of these matches, so it's showing a bunch of ties because there's a bunch of 0-0 matches. Things would be a little bit less weird if we actually recorded them in the. I suppose we can update that here just to show it. So let's just actually put in some scores here. So say 21, 13, 21, 9, 15, 21, 21, 7, 18. Now there's one little thing I didn't even mention here, and I probably should have, was let's say you have a team or a match that they did not turn in their score sheet. Say you don't offer refs, so you give sheets out to the teams, and you expect them to fill the sheets out and bring them back. And in this case, they just didn't do it. You have no record of what the score was. The solution to that is this button called Request Results. So you can click this button, and it'll send a message to all the players on the teams saying, hey, we don't have the results of this message, or we don't have the results of this match. Let's send them a message. So you click send a message. Come on, there we go. And the message gets sent off to both teams. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep recording this stuff. There we go. So we have some scores entered. We click save. And now our standings look a little bit better updated. We still have these ties that are showing up, and that's because of the match that's the not recorded match. So that basically covers that process of recording. The final step that you're going to want to do is creating a playoff bracket. So come to the end of the season, you've gone through all of this, creating the recording the results and everything else. Now you want to create a playoff bracket. So let's add a playoff. And we're just going to take the top 8 teams to a gold bracket. So we'll call it gold, and we'll check the teams that we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is kind of where the tiebreaker stuff kicks in. Tiebreakers will generally be better about comparing about ordering the results here based on performance of each individual team. For example, if you go through and you have a tie between Sad Cats and Abandoned Centipedes, if these two teams were to play each other, had played each other in the standings, then it would rank the team that won head-to-head over the other. So it'll do some pretty advanced tie-breaking comparison stuff to simplify your life. So we're going to go ahead and click Prepare Seeds here. Getting back to creating our playoff bracket, we'll click Prepare Seeds. And here, in the event that we do need to override a seed for some reason or another, most of the times this will be good enough. But if we need to override the seed 1 through 8, then that's what we're going to go with, and we'll click Create Bracket. And now we have our playoff bracket. And now we just need to schedule the matches. Say what time each match plays at. We'll say plays August, I don't know, I'm just going to make up a date and time. August 23rd. 6 o'clock on Court 1. And you basically just go through this for each match in the playoff bracket. We're working on ways of improving this process because it is a little bit tedious. Would like to reduce the playoff generation to a single step. But as it is right now, you go through and you create this whole playoff bracket, you fill in the schedules, and then when the teams play, you can either record the results using this interface, or if you don't care about the scores anymore, then you can just click Report Winner and choose from a drop-down box. So that's basically it. You go through this process, you finish off the league, and your league is done. So that's basically the walkthrough of getting your initial site set up and running through the most basic of things. Now BracketPal offers lots and lots of tools to complement that, including like reschedules for rainouts and that sort of thing, or rescheduling individual matches if that's necessary, printing off the ref sheets and the daily sheets for check-in, as well as schedule adjusting tools, and manually adding matches. So there's lots of things that you can do with this, but that's beyond the scope of this video. So anyway, hope you found this enlightening. If you are interested in using BracketPal for your league, just head over to BracketPal.com. You can either sign up online, or if you want to contact us, if you have some more unique information, go ahead and click the Contact Us button. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us. So I hope this helps, and I hope you found it interesting, and have a good one. Thanks. Bye.